Welcome back to somebody on the rest of and to AEW 2024. All in was only 2 weeks ago, but AEW is already back for another pay-per-view of All Out in Chicago. The show features several title bouts and grudge matches that are designed to give a few storylines a big ending. And yeah, of course, loads advertised for this show that we'll get into. But we're going to start off with the 0 Hour. The first 0 Hour match saw Bronson and Boulder take on Max Caster and Anthony Bowens in tag action. It was a silly outing that both teams looked good. The result was predictable. It was a semi-quick match, but we got was entertaining. We claims unsurprisingly picked up a win. Next up was a trios bout with Nice Guevara was taking on Rhodes, Guevara and Hologram. A physical and fast-paced bout with a lot of high-flying offense from members of both teams. Hologram, Guevara and Nice were especially impressive. However, we also saw sloppy moments. Rhodes got the pin for his team to score the victory. More trios action came when Juice Robinson and the Guns took on Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds and John Silver. It was fine for what it was, but it felt like a match we would usually see on Rampage, not a pay-per-view, even if it was only 0 Hour. And finally, Queen Arminata saved Sky Blue from Mariah May before the final 0 Hour match took place. It was a triple threat trios bout with Top Flight Andrade versus the Undisputed Kingdom versus Mortos and STP. This was Taylor's big match since returning from a shoulder injury. Since there are only two men who are legal, teams were able to tag in off someone for another trio. It was another high energy encounter with a lot of impressive spots. It was smart to put this at the end of the 0 Hour with the Undisputed Kingdom winning when Roderick Strong got the win. Yeah, probably the best match there. Still nothing really major to write home about, but I thought for what it was, some decent matches to get us hyped for the crowd for the main show. On the whole, the buy-in gets a 6 out of 10 from me. The main card opened when MJF took on Daniel Garcia. As the giant banner hung behind MJF, Garcia attacked him from behind. MJF tried to use some cheap tricks to take control, but Garcia kept taking him down. Garcia's head was bandaged and MJF went after it like a target. The former world champion was vicious once he was in the driver's seat, which put Red Death in the underdog position. The former RH Pure champion began to make a comeback on the Chicago crowd and cheered him on. MJF not only pulled off the bandage, but he bit Garcia's head to open up his wound. He set up for a corner tombstone, but Garcia managed to escape and hit a big DDT. After both men put each other through the ringer with submissions and close counts, MJF with a low blow behind the rest back. It was a fun grudge match, made both look tough. Garcia is a fan favourite and MJF is perfect for it. It's a great choice to open, but made less a sour taste. MJF offered a handshake, but we all knew what followed next. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I thought for the first probably in the series matches it was really good, and yeah, looking forward to seeing how the feud develops. Before Matthew and Nicholas defended their tag team titles against Yuta and Castagnoli. Matt and Yuta started off a nice exchange of takedowns and counters. Yuta had control and tagged in Claudio. Nick took both men down with an Escala from the top, but they recovered immediately and took him down. This wasn't as chaotic as some of the Bucks matches, but this was a good thing in case all four men were able to take their time and make sure to sell every big hit. There was a solid example of good tag wrestling, but a lot of fans may have expected a barn burner. Instead, it was a steadily paced bout. Thankfully, they picked up the pace, and yeah, all four men put in a good effort, but the Young Bucks retained. I think, yeah, a perfectly good match, perfectly servable match, the result we all expected, but you know, still, I thought it was pretty solid action as well, so I'm going to give it 7 out of 10. The third Trios champion was in action as he challenged Ospreay for the International Championship. The crowd was going wild before they even made contact, because this was such an anticipated encounter. They started off with a simple knock-up into a side headlock takeover. Both men hit corkscrew moonsaults. One after another, as Ricochet was shown watching from backstage. To absolutely no one's surprise, this was a fast-paced match from a variety of types of offense from both men. AEW put two of the best high flyers in the ring together, and naturally they made some magic. Pax looked more precise and smooth than he has in a long time. Ospreay is still at the top of his game. This is kind of feud AEW can go back to at any time and be excited to see, because they all work so well together. The best part is that they managed to pace themselves and tell a story instead of just packing as many high spots as they could. We witnessed an instant classic on Sunday, and no recap will do it justice. If you watch live, go out of your way to see it again. You will not regret a single second. Both men made the crowd count, and it was Ospreay who sealed the win with a hidden blade. Fantastic, 9 out of 10. Nightingale and Statlander were then looking to put an end to their feud on the Saturday with a Chicago street fight. Stokely Hathaway currently chaired to the ring because it would be legal for Stat to use it. It took less than 2 minutes before weapons were being played apart. Widow was powerbombed through an announce table to put Stat in control for quite some time. These women knew they were following a show stealer from Pac and Ospreay and made sure to make it feel as different as possible. We then saw these kinds of bumps guaranteed to leave deep bruises. However, everyone from table and chairs to light tubes and hockey sticks were used to inflict damage. Both competitors left all in the ring, including some of their blood. This was sure a brutal street fight that lived up to its potential. It's hard to think of anything they could have done to make this more intense start, beat her former friend by using a chain to apply a submission. A brutal way to finish it, and considering what they finished, I think they did a very solid job indeed, and I think hopefully more matches down the line between these two. Okada then took on Cassidy and Takeshita and Briscoe in a four-way for the Continental title. They were slow to engage, but Briscoe and Okada paired up while Takeshita and OC went at it. It came down to Okada and Takeshita, but Cassidy took both men down before they could do anything. Even though this was good in some ways, it felt like the cool-down match. We just saw two bangers back-to-back, and we still had a couple of bouts to go, so it's going to be hard for anything else to fill the spot. Don't take this to be mean to both these guys, but they put in a good offense. We got a lot of entertaining stuff in here, especially from Takeshita. It felt like the match was designed to set up a singles bout between the two Japanese superstars down the line. That, of course, is not a bad thing. In fact, it's probably the best move AEW can make. All three challengers came close to winning at least once before Okada hit a Rainmaker on Cassidy to get the pin and win. This was an enjoyable sprint to the end, and yeah, I thought it was pretty solid on the whole. Gets a 8 out of 10 from me. Good stuff. Mercedes Moné then faced her biggest test to date as a TBS champion when she was forced to defend the title against Shida. Mercedes tried to take control early but quickly found herself on defense. Shida was not holding back and delivered some several swift strikes, including a low drop kick that almost knocked Mercedes out of the ring. After 3 chaotic and wild watches in a row, it was kind of nice to get a standard singles bout. This was still a great showing, but it helped slow the pace down a bit before the final 2 matches. Jury and chants broke out as they began unleashing strikes. The former world champion won the exchange, but Moné eventually won the match. One of the great matches. It felt like they had lots of room to grow in future encounters, which is hopefully what we get. Shida almost got herself disqualified as well. The momentary lapse allowed Mercedes to pounce and hit a moneymaker for the win. A strange finish, but I think it leaves room for more matches down the line. The final sanction match of the night saw Danielson defend the world title against the current TNT champion Jack Perry. The crowd was chanting and going nuts before they could even knock up. Obviously, Perry, Chicago, Perry scored a quick takedown and posed like Creed with arms open to celebrate. He scored a second takedown and slapped Danielson in the back of the head. The American Dragon decided it was time to teach his young opponent a lesson, so he got into the driver's seat and started punishing the scapegoat. A DDT from the apron to the floor, reverse and mental again. They did a good job pacing so they could sell everything properly. Perry played an interesting role here, an overconfident challenger while also being a little over his head against the veteran on Danielson's level. Several times he tried to be cocky and Danielson made him regret it every time. He began taunting the scapegoat with trash talk as he unloaded with kicks to the chest. The ref ended up being taken down, so Bucks ran down and attacked Danielson with a TK driver. Claudio and Juta chased them away. Perry hit a running knee but failed to get the pin. He pissed the Dragon off for a few disrespectful slaps, so Danielson turned him inside out with a Berserko knee for a close 2. Perry cut his arms out and seemed to accept his fate defiantly as Danielson drilled him with one more knee for the win. This wasn't about putting on the best technical clinic or the most violent fight. This is about making Perry look like a top star, and in that respect it accomplished the goal. This may be the best match of Perry's career so far. Killswitch ended up taking Danielson out and had a brief moment with his former tag partner before Christian Cage arrived to cash in his title shot. Mox appeared out of nowhere. Pac and the rest of BCC stood in his way. Claudio ended up taking out Danielson, turning his back on BCC along with Moxley. Mox put a plastic bag over Danielson's head to suffocate him. The crowd chanted, "This is Mercer," as Yuta cried while being held back. Doctor attended Danielson as everyone but Yuta left. A dramatic turn. Moxley's new style was complete. I was wondering what would happen with the BCC. Definitely wasn't expecting this. Brutal stuff. No more. That's going to be a very interesting next feud. How Yuta fits into it as well. I think, so many questions coming out of that, and I thought it was a brilliant segment as well. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And in our main event, it was lights out cage match between Page and Strickland. The feud has been going for a year and has included blood, a home invasion, and even a case of arson. Needless to say, this is one of the most personal feuds in AEW history. Both men were sequestered in the locker room until this began to avoid any violence. Page showed up with some barbed wire around his arm to show he meant business. Swerve didn't wait for the cage to come down to attack first. He tried to trap Page's head on the apron so the cage wouldn't crush it, but Nana broke them out so Swerve wasn't hurt. By the time the cage was down, Nana had put a table and several weapons in the ring. Both men were struck several staples, calling back to their previous encounters. At that point, traditional wrestling maneuvers were few and far between. This came with bloody war of attrition that tested the pain and tolerance of both. They did so many violent things to each other that it would be hard to list them all. This is another bout that needs to be seen to be understood, because a recap of it doesn't really do it. From this, you couldn't ask for much more. It wouldn't be everyone's cup of tea, but it had everyone sat on the edge of their seats. It was the oldest moment we've ever seen. Page pushed a syringe into Stern's mouth before breaking a chair on his head. The ref declared a KO win, and the doctors rushed to Strickland. A brutal ending to a brutal feud. And I really enjoyed it. The violence, the tension, the drama of it all, I thought was superb. Excellent stuff, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Overall, AEW All Out gets an 8 out of 10 from me. I really enjoyed this show, I think it's fair to say. Yeah, it was pretty excellent stuff. Some of the brutal matches we got on there, as well as much more. The storytelling in lots of it. Yeah, I AEW pay-per-view here and gets an 8 out of 10 from me. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.